Hello everyone, welcome back to the XSP Green Monster channel. I hope everyone had a good spring break if it was your spring break or is having a good day now. My name is Riley. I do car audio stuff in my car and just kind of other tools and installs on my vehicle. So today I'm going to be hooking up my DD Audio DSI-1. I've actually had it for a little while now. I just haven't had the chance to install it because I was missing a little Molex connector that connects to it. I reached out to DD and they couldn't give me one. I'm not 100% sure on that, but on why they couldn't, they must not order those in bulk or anything. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna bring you over my computer. I'll show you what I need to get done. I just have a couple wires I need to bring out there and then I get hooked up. I don't think I'm gonna jump into tuning today because I need to figure out how to get the software on my computer. I bought this second hand. I'm not sure if it was supposed to come with the disc, but it didn't, and I can't figure out how to find the software online. So we'll figure that out, but yeah, we'll jump over computer, I'll show you what I need to get and what I'm kind of setting up, and then we'll get those wires cut and we'll go out to my car and I'll show you guys getting it set up. Okay guys, so here we go. This is just the owner's manual for the DSI-1. I just have it pulled up on my computer, and right here you can kind of see, so right here I've got the remote coming in, the power, the remote out, and then the ground. So that's what I need to get wires for. I already have my remote wire. Obviously, I'm going to run off a relay from the front. I'm hoping I can use this to run 2 amps. It says you might need a relay, but I think I can run my 2 little amps off of this. My base amp is still going to be run off of a different toggle. And I just need power for it and the ground. The power and the ground, I'm actually going to tap into one of the powers and grounds for my amplifier, since I don't have that bad a voltage drop on my system, so I don't think that's going to affect it. And this is good from 0.05 volts to 22 volts as an input, so I'm not too worried about this. As you can see, it's got 6 inputs for channels and 8 outputs for channels, and then an external where I can hook up. So I'm gonna see, I might go out and try and hook up my computer to it today. I'll kind of see. Yeah, and then this is the graphical interface software. So I'll do a video on this at some point on tuning my system, but that won't be immediately. So yeah, I'll go over and we'll get some wire cut and then we'll head out to the truck. Okay, so I picked up everything that I need, just some yellow wire because that's my remote color, pink wire for power, blue wire for ground, and then my wire cutters and my wire strippers. So, like I said, now I'm gonna run out to the truck and we'll start getting this stuff installed. Back out in the truck, so I just had to go up and grab a small screwdriver. But other than that, I've got all the same. I'm looking at this Molex connector now, which I will show you guys. So here's a little Molex connector I was missing. You can see it's just got some inputs right there with some screws on top, tighten it down, and it plugs into the DSI. So I'm going to get the wire set up in this. I just realized that these are really small inputs. I'm not going to be able, I might be able to fit 2 runs of this into one of those Molex connectors. I'll have to see, but I need 1 run coming from DSI to this amp, to the white amp right here, and then 1 run coming to the one on the other side. And then that should be about it. And hopefully I have enough wire in this input to actually run all the way up. And we'll have to see on that one. And I already have a run here actually for an input, so that's good. So yeah, get right into it. Okay, so I know it's kind of hard to see, but here is my DSI-1. There's not that much light back here, and I apologize for that, but we'll have to kind of just keep going. So yeah, so this Molex connector fits in the top just like so, and plugs in. So I'll have 1 remote going on. So I've got 1 remote going on that far side, and I don't actually know if my remote wire is going to be long enough to reach back there, so I might have to extend this. Yeah, so this remote wire will not reach out there, so I might have to extend this remote wire, so I'll cut it and just do a quick little butt connect on that. So I'll cut that wire now. I know it's out of the scene, but I'm just cutting my remote wire back a little bit from the top of it. I've got my other remote wire, and this one goes across the other amp, and this one I should have enough wire in it. Looks like I will. I've got all the RCAs back here, so yep, so this one will run back here. No problem. I'll just have to reroute it around some of these other wires. There we go. So now we'll run back here and not look that bad. And run it right around the top here and into my remote out. So I'll just cut this so I can redo the wiring on it. Wires are a little bit frayed, and then I will need some more of this yellow wire to run over to this amp. So I'm going to have all the wires run on this side so I can zip tie them. So it's going to need to run on that side. This is kind of comes into wire management. So on this side down, and maybe I'll just cut and strip this and install it so that it'll be easier for me to measure. So let me strip both of these. And these Molex connectors are pretty shallow, so you don't want to strip that much off of them. They can't handle a whole ton of very deep wire going into them. So just about that much. I don't know if you can see that, but it is a tiny, tiny amount. And actually, I'll bring the camera a little bit closer so you guys can see some more. Okay, there we go. So now you guys can see a little bit better. So you can see I stripped about that much off of it, like half of my thumbnail off of it. It's going to be going in this second one from the right. So I will loosen, actually it might be fully loosened already, that into there. So now I've got those twisted in. That's a really good way to get them in there, is you twist them in. Just tighten it down. I'm actually kind of surprised that this held two wires that well. There we go. So that's tight. You pull on both of them, don't come out. So now I'll just put this back in so I can measure out this wire run. So this wire run's going to come down and around this way, then over to here. So if I cut it right about there, you guys can't see any of that. Okay, so I'm measuring down to right about here, so if I cut it right there, then that will be enough. And I'll just get this all wrapped back up because I don't need any more of the yellow. Actually, I am going to need a small section to go from there up, so going down, cut a small extension, probably right about there. And this is just to extend my current one that comes from the front of the car, which is going to go into this far one and then connect down into this one, which runs underneath my amplifiers. So I have those cut, just take my wires, and this is how I like to wrap up these small wires, if anyone was wondering. I know it took me a little while, but just take some extra, wrap it around the center, and then tuck the end back through the wraps. And if you pull that tight, like that, it'll actually keep the wires pretty well bound. You need to get some lights in here too at some point because this is dull. But so I'll just strip this one. You can see I'm just stripping a very small amount off the end of it. And this is going to go into the into this one, this top one on the side, which you can't really see, the one that's going up. So right here, there we go. So that's tight. So now I got all of my remote wires wired in, and this one I will splice into my other one, so I can strip those now. And for butt connectors, you could strip a bit more. I would solder this, but I don't have the ability to solder inside my vehicle. I have no place to run extension cord since I'm in an apartment, and I don't have a battery operated one. And I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna end up running these power and grounds directly into the power and ground off this amplifier. But I'm not 100% sure on that, into this amplifier. I could probably take off these, that's the Sky High Car Radio ones, and just stick it in there and have it run back into that. I think that should be fine. So I can get those at least cut. So we're gonna have a power coming from right there down and around, so I'll cut it right about here. Then a ground, which should be the exact same length. I'm just going to cut a blue wire that's the exact same length as the pink wire. There we go. So now all of the wires are into the Molex. I just need to connect them to powers and grounds and get the RCA set up, and then we will be set. Okay, so I know you guys couldn't see that very well. I just watched back the footage a little bit. So this is what I was talking about. So this is my remote in on this side. Obviously pink is power. This other one that has the 2 yellow wires coming out, that's my remote out. So I'm gonna be running that to both of the CT Sounds amplifiers. So that's gonna be going one to this one and one to that one over there. And then the blue wire is the ground. I'm gonna be tapping those into these inputs right there. So I'm just gonna put it inside this. Like I said, my battery voltage stays very stable. It stays around 12.9 at the lowest while I'm playing. So I'm not too worried about that, about this bank voltage dropping below the capable voltage of the DSI-1. And as you can also see, I have all the RCAs down there. They're already plugged into the bottom. So I will be kind of going through how I have those run as well once I go up to my apartment, grab the tools I need to do this, and then the butt connectors for that. Okay, so back in the car now. I hope that this is a little bit better angle. So basically I'm just going to be putting on this butt connector to these. I'm not going to worry about heat shrinking this butt connector since it's inside my vehicle. And it's not going to see any condensation of any kind or water. And again, I would always advise to do not to use butt connectors and to solder, but in my particular case, I don't have that much of an option since I can't solder out here. I don't have what I need to solder, so I'm a little bit more stuck. But if you can solder these together, solder them and heat shrink them. Do not just butt connect them. I have way too many butt connectors in my car, and they are more prone to failure than soldering. They don't provide as strong as a connections or as strong a connection as butt connectors. There we go. So those are butt connected, which means that this is solid. I can do the pull test on them. Pull all of this back behind, so I'm not worrying about it. And these I am going to actually brought up some of my favorite Tessa tape, and I'm going to Tessa tape the connections up here. Tear the Tessa tape, and on this I always like to just fold over the end there so that I can get it easily. So now you'll see when I plug this back in, then now I have this nice Tessa taped loom going around the back. And obviously these are still loose, but I'll zip tie that. The important part is that this now looks a little bit cleaner, and I can run it right there like that around. RCAs can go in front of it, and the RCAs I can zip tie to all of the wires. Okay, I'm back. So being my smart self, I didn't cut the power and ground long enough, which means that I had to extend them. So these are extended now. They're gonna fit over to the power and ground I need to tap into. So now I just need to tap into these over here, and then I will be set. Okay, so everything's hooked up now. I'm going to flip my relay and we'll see if these turn on. There we go, both amplifiers are on. Can hear the speaker just came on. Perfect. Now back up to the DS1. I'm going to be taking the RCAs out of this amp and plugging them into this amp in the correct order. So I've got my channels 1 and channels 2, which are my mids and highs from this amp, which is white and blue. So I'm gonna run blue as channel 4 going into this DSP. White is channel 3. Then black is channel 6. And gray is channel 5. So I've had these tucked down behind the amplifier for quite a while. And these are just all the sets of RCAs coming off. These are all Sky High Car Audio Premium, which are single-ended RCAs, besides the one going to the bass amp, which is a shielded RCA. So here are the last two. Exact same thing. If I do this the same, where black is on top, blue is on the bottom for all of them, then I should have the exact same right and left inputs and outputs on all of my channels, regardless of what they actually are coming out of the DSI-1. So on certain music, I might be able to hear a difference that one is a left and it shouldn't be, or one's a right and it shouldn't be, but it should still all play on the right channel, or at least play on the same separate channel, so half my speakers aren't trying to play left while they are playing on the right side. Okay, so now with these other two, these have to go to the other side of the vehicle. So I'm just gonna run these over and across. Okay, but there you go. That is the inputs ran, and then the outputs, which are kind of a mess. I can clean those up at some point. They're a bit of a mess down there, but I've got them running into this amp, and then the cords running right there around the back to that side of the amp, and then to the Team 7K as well. Alright, so I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I know it's kind of a mess, and it's difficult to film in this tight spot back here. I will be going through the cleaning up of that wiring again, and just kind of going through again how I kind of do all that. Actually, I'm not gonna go through cleaning up a wire. I already did a video on cleaning up wires, so you guys kind of know how I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna zip tie some of the wires together, kind of make it run clean. I already got them kind of all running in the same fashion, so I just gotta zip tie them together so it makes a nice neat bundle of wires. But the next video I do, I will be actually tuning this thing, hopefully. I still need to see if I can find the GUI, the graphical user interface for it, and download it on my computer so I can plug into it. I already have the controller up front, so that should all work out. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting there. It's been a little slow with the subscribers, so I'd really appreciate if you watch this video, if you could subscribe. I'm trying to put out more and more content, and as you can see, I've been extremely consistent over the last 2 months with putting out content almost every 2 days. And yeah, please comment down below a video that you guys would like to see, and I'll see you guys in the next video.